Hey again, guys. Hey, today I have got a nice little focus class for you. So what we'd normally do in our studio, say on a Wednesday night, also maybe a Thursday evening as well, it's just a really nice basic movement class. So we'll be focusing on how to actually do the movements rather than focusing on how many you can do, okay? So just move with me, move however you feel comfortable to move. If something doesn't feel right, then come back to maybe a progression that I've moved on from. Or always the option just to rest. I hope you're all keeping well. You may have noticed that my plant's slowly dying behind me. It hasn't had the love that it's normally getting in the studio. But yeah, I hope you're all doing really well. We're going to start off, we're just going to lie down on our mats. Okay, so just starting off how you normally would. We'll just let the legs go long if that feels okay for you. Unless there's any lower back pain, you may want to place the feet on the floor. Alright, and then here, let's just place one hand on your belly and then one hand on your upper chest. And then here, really focusing on that long, slow, deep breath in. Allowing that belly to fully inflate. You feel the hand rise up on the belly. And then exhale, that hand falls back down. And again, inhale, let the belly rise up. And the belly fall. And I really want you to focus on the breath throughout your whole movements today. The breath will control all your movements, it will lead all your movements. It's not a rule though, but I just want you to think, if you lose some of the movements or lose some focus, come back to your breath at any point. Alright, and then really focusing on that space underneath your navel. I want you to really try and feel like you're breathing into that space and exhale, letting that space fall away. We'll do 2 more breaths there. Trying to keep the hand on the upper chest nice and quiet. We're focusing on the belly breathing. Beautiful. And then we're going to take the hands and we're going to wrap them around your rib cage. Okay, so feeling the fingertips on the front of the ribs, and then your thumbs are towards the back of your ribs. And then here we're going to focus on trying to bring more breath and to using the rib cage in that breath. Okay, so take a nice big breath in. Hopefully you can feel your ribs move outwards into your hands. And then exhale, feeling those ribs now moving away from those fingertips, almost like the rib cage is narrowing down. And again, inhale, let the ribs fully expand. And then exhale, feel those ribs narrow down. It's almost like they're drawing towards each other and then down towards the abdominals. Good, and so the belly's staying kind of quiet, the upper chest is staying quiet, really focusing this breath into around about the bottom of your lungs, your diaphragm area. Okay, we'll do 1 more breath there. Hopefully feeling a little bit more movement. And then I want you to change that ever so slightly. Now your thumbs are at the back of your ribs. I want you to see whether you can get a little bit more movement into the thumb area. Okay, so it's almost like your back is expanding into the floor underneath you. So as you breathe in, you'll feel your bottom back ribs almost press down to the floor. I want you to try and leave them there as you exhale. Good. We'll try that 2 more times. See if you can get a little bit more breath into the back of the body. This is quite hard to practice. It's okay if it doesn't make sense for you yet. We'll go 1 more. Now we need to practice that back breathing for when we do things like our curl ups or our chest lifts, and we ask you to stay up there for an extra breath. Now that extra breath, rather than letting the belly pop up because then we'll lose our chest lift or at the top of our bridge, we want to focus the breath into the back of the body. So that's why we really want to try and practice that. And we'll also practice it later when we're in child's pose. There's another place to practice it. Now just sliding your feet along the floor. Check your heels don't come too close towards you. If you look down, it's about a 90-degree bend at the back of the knee. If you look down your thighs, you wouldn't be able to see your feet. So they're hidden by your thighs, so they're in line with your sit bones. Okay, so that's your nice neutral, your hip line position. there is a little space underneath your lower back, but we'll work into finding that. Okay, so then we're going to place your hands now. So we're still working with your hands, you're feeling into your body. Heel of the hand on your hip bones, fingertips down towards your pubic bone. Okay, and all we're going to do is assist with that pelvic tilt. So here we're going to draw the hip bones, press the hip bones down towards the floor, pull your pubic bone back towards you. So you're really using your hands to do that. Inhale it, now press the pubic bone away from you, finding that space underneath the lower back, and then again exhale, pull it back towards you. Okay, so we're here, we're just really guiding the pelvis with your hands. So just working within your comfort level. If there's any discomfort, make the movement a little bit smaller. Exhale as you pull the pelvis back towards you. Inhale as you push the pelvis away. We'll go 2 more. This is just really nice if you kind of don't understand that pelvic clock. Okay, to get your hands in there and really facilitate it with the hands. Go 1 more each way. Then here we'll change that into a side to side movement. Okay, so I'm pressing down with my right hand. My left hip will float up and off the floor just a little bit, and it will come up into my left hand. And then I'll change that, press the left hip down into the floor, right hip will come up a little bit. Okay, so quite often in class I'll use that image of those old toys that we used to build back in woodwork days, where we used to have the wooden surface and there was like a little wooden maze, and you used to have the marble rolling. Okay, so we're just taking the marble from side to side of our board. Ribs are staying still, and then I want you to check as you're doing this that the legs aren't swaying. There's more like a little scissor action through the legs. Okay, so they're both knees are staying pointing to the ceiling, but it's like one leg reaches. So that left hip's raised, that left leg reaches away. And then the right hip raises, right leg reaches away. Okay, so it's like a scissor, and like you're walking. Go, we'll do 1 more on each side. Then we'll pause with we'll pause in towards the center. From here, just bring your heels slightly closer back towards you. We're going to go into bridging. And again, we're going to use the hands to facilitate that. So here we're going to tilt the pubic bone back towards you. Okay, so I'm imprinting through the lowest back. There's no space underneath my lower back. We're going to slowly peel up through our first bridge. As we get to the top of our first bridge, again, my hands are still there. I want you to check. You can feel like your pubic bone pull it back towards your navel, so it's higher than your hip bones. And then slowly roll down. Don't let that pubic bone drop until it's its turn to roll away. Okay, so we roll down through the spine, we come down through the pelvis, and then you push the pubic bone away. Again, exhale, pull it back towards you, and then roll up. So you're getting really familiar with yourself. Take a breath in at the top again, pubic bone's the highest point, and then roll back down. We'll do 2 more like that. Exhale, rolling up, pressure through the heels, check your knees haven't splayed out. You want your knees reaching over top of the second toe, all 10 toes on the floor, rolling back down. And remember that breath I talked about into the back of the body, so we're peeling up on an exhale. You pause at the top, pubic bones higher, take a breath in into the back of the body without the abdominals flaring up. And then exhale, lower yourself back down. Alright, and again we come into our little marble table thing. So we press the left hip down, right hip's raised. We're going to roll up through our bridge through the left side. Okay, so that right hip's going to stay higher. Good, and then roll back down. All the way through the left side. So it's like you've got 3 spines side by side. We're going to roll around the tailbone, press down on the right hip, peel back up. Good, take a big breath at the top. Your left hip's working a little bit more. Roll back down. All the way through that right side. Inhale, circle around the tailbone like a horseshoe shape. And then exhale, peel up that left side. Right hip stays higher. Good, and then roll back down, all down through that left side. It should start feeling like a nice little massage through those tissues down the side of your spine. Again, horseshoe around the tailbone, and then peeling up on that right side. Good, left hip's higher, roll down the right side, stay on that side. Circle around your tailbone. We go one more on each side. Good. And again, just checking that the chest is staying soft. Circle around at the bottom. Peel back up. Left hips higher. Roll down the right side. Good. And then we'll finish off with one in the center. So we make sure you're nice and centered. Peel up, lift up. Go, pause at the top, take that big breath into the back of the body. Make sure the ribs don't flare up with that breath in. And then exhale, slowly lower back down through the body. Release the tail at the bottom. If it feels nice too, you can peel your knees in towards you and take a little stretch out, just releasing off through those hamstrings. Good work. And then placing your feet on the floor. Let's take your hands, unless you get anything through the neck, and we're going to place the hands back to back and then in through your sternum bone. Okay, so you've got little chicken wings going on here. So this is just going to help you to realize what the actual movement is for a chest lift. Okay, so your feet are on the floor, the tailbone is heavy, so we're in that neutral position. There is a little hollow underneath my lower back. Now check that's opposite the navel. Quite often I see people using their ribs to find that. Here I want ribs to be heavy, tailbone weighted, little hollow opposite that navel. Good, and then again, hands in that sternum bone. Hopefully you can find it. Take a nice big breath in. Sternum bone's the breastbone, okay, down through the center of the chest. Exhale. I want you to send that hands down through the sternum bone. That movement is going to help you curl up into your chest lift. And then inhale to lower back down. And again, exhale to curl forward. You send your sternum bone down towards your pubic bone. And then inhale to roll back. Go to any neck pain, bring your hands in behind your head and support your head. Good, and again, curl forward. You should feel that bone underneath you sliding down towards your pubic bone. And then inhale to roll back. We'll go two more like that. Inhale down, keep the weight towards the tailbone. So check as you curl up that you haven't tilted the tail back towards you. You want the weight towards your tailbone. And then roll back down. Good work. And just a little window wipe over the knees from side to side. Beautiful. Hands, bring them, interlace them in behind the head. So now we've found how that movement works. We'll go into the full movement. Again, weight towards the tailbone. Equal pressure through both feet. Big breath in, elbows are just in your peripheral vision. Exhale, we're going to curl forward. We're going to slide again that bone. Imagine it sliding towards your pubic bone. Pubic bone stays where it is. And pause for the breath in at the top. So that's that breath into the back of the body. And then exhale, slowly lower back down. So we're holding for that breath in at the top. Inhale at the bottom. And again, exhale, curl forward. Inhale, belly stays still. Breathing into the back of the body, and then exhale to lower yourself back down. And again, exhale, curl forward. Pause for the breath in. Exhale to lower down. We'll go one more like that, and we'll start adding on again. Exhale, curl forward. Big breath in at the top, send into the back of the body. Exhale, roll back down. All right. Here, if it feels okay to, let's float one leg up to tabletop. Exhale, the second leg comes up. And again, exhale, we're going to curl forward into your chest lift. Good, hands come around, hold on behind your thighs. Exhale, curl up a little bit higher. Good, pause, hold that chest lift on the inhale, hands come in behind the head. And then exhale, roll back down. So it's 4 parts to that movement. Inhale at the bottom to prepare. Exhale, curl forward. Inhale, hands come over, hold on. Pull yourself a little bit higher on the breath out. Hands come back in behind the head without the chest dropping. And then inhale, lower back down. Exhale, sorry. And again, exhale, curl forward. Inhale, hands over. Exhale, curl higher. Chest stays still as hands come back in behind the head. And then exhale, lower back down. Exhale, curl. Inhale, hands. Exhale, higher. Inhale, hands back in behind the head. Exhale, lower back down. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale down, last one. Exhale, curl forward. Inhale, hands over. Curl up higher on that breath out. Hands coming in behind the head. And then exhale, lower back down. Good work. Interlace the hands, just wrap them around the legs. Again, have a nice little roll out from the back of the body. Legs come back up to tabletop, hold on behind the thighs. So that little chest up position where we curled out. And then you pressed your hands into your thighs to curl up higher. Keep doing that and then roll all the way up to the top. Lift up and then exhale, roll back off the sit bones. Feet slide towards you, control that as you lower back down. Head rest back down. And again, exhale, curl forward. Feet down to the floor, rolling up, lift up. Right, and again, we'll go down. Try and slow that down. Think about scooping out through the abdominals. Make the feet heavy, that give you a little counterweight. Rolling down. I want you to check as you come forward again that you're not lifting up too early. So I want you to think C-curve. So here, round through the abdominals. Keep that round shape as you roll up. Shoulders over top of hips, then lengthen up. Good, once more. Roll down. Rolling all the way down. Good, and then lower the head, neck and chest all the way down. Beautiful. All right, from here, feet down on the floor. Just check in through the hips. We've got the weight through the back of the pelvis. Feet are at sit bone distance. From here, all we're going to do is little knee drops, okay? So I'm going to open my left knee up towards you guys. And again, bring your hands up to the top of your hips. I want you to feel any movement through that pelvis. We're going to stay with that left side. Left leg opens up. And then left leg closes. All right, so we're just starting to connect in through those muscles known as the pelvic floor, the lower core, the lower abdominals, all connected. We're just bringing some awareness into how we control that pelvis. Okay, it may feel like you've got control of the top of the pelvis. Now slide your hands underneath your pelvis and see you can feel any pressure changes on those hands. Okay, and I want you to keep the weight exactly the same. So as that left knee opens up, tendency would be that right hip would roll up towards the ceiling. Okay, I want you to keep that same sense of pressure on that right hip. Hopefully that makes sense. If you've been doing this in class with me, you'll know what I mean. Check that that right knee isn't hanging out to counterbalance. We'll go one more. All right, and then over to that right side. Now left hip stays still. Good. It's not about how far you'll go and trying to go really far and feeling more of a stretch. It's about gaining that control, gaining that balance across the pelvis. And again, check that that left knee isn't hanging out to counterbalance. Mine just was. We're all not perfect. We're about learning, discovering, seeing what we need to do. Okay, so I imagine there's almost like a weight through the front of my hip as I open up that right knee. Good, last one here. Good, it's a subtle movement that I hope you should kind of start to feel a little bit of a change of muscles just inside that pelvic bowl. All right, and again, you have that weight towards your tailbone. It's weighted down. There is that little hollow underneath the lower back. It's only enough space maybe just to post a letter just in through where the spine is. So everybody is different as well. Okay, it's your neutral. Hip bones and hip bones and pubic bones should be level. All right, and then from here we're just going to float your right leg up to tabletop and then lower it back down. Stay with the right leg. So just like we're doing before, moving just one leg only. And then again, I want you to bring some attention into that pelvis. What's going on? Are you rocking through the pelvis as you lift the leg up, or can you keep that nice and still? Okay, we'll go one more. We'll switch sides. Left side. And I want you to make this as easy as possible. Imagine that leg's super light. The stability or the strength that's coming through the pelvis. One more. Go, we'll float that left leg up. Take a breath in. Exhale, we'll float the right leg up to meet it. Down with the left, down with the right. Right leg up, left leg up. Right leg down, left leg down. Lead with the left, follow with the right. Lead with the left, follow with the right. Switch in right, left, right, left. We'll keep that going, and I want you to notice again, what do you need to do through the body to lift the leg, that second leg, without changing shape through your spine. I always get confused during this one, so it's okay if you mark up the lift, lower, lower. Go and use your breath out to lift that second leg, to stabilize. You always use your breath out to find that stability. Good, last one, lift the right, exhale, lift the left. Stick with me, otherwise stay with it, up, down, down is your option. Tap the right toe down to the floor, inhale up, exhale, left toe, inhale up. Make sure the ribs aren't popping up, keep those ribs nice and heavy. Good, I want you to imagine with that breath out to tap the toe down, that those abdominals are wrapping around. Okay, you're trying to narrow the two hip bones towards each other. Good, and again, if it feels okay tapping the toe down, can you just go for a hover? So it's not actually resting down. Check as well that you're not changing shape through your knee. You do want that thigh bone to move away from you. Okay, I so often see just toe taps like this. Okay, and this isn't actually doing anything. I want you to reach that leg. So you create an arc with that thigh bone. One more on each side. Beautiful, and then hug those knees in. Good work. All right, legs back up to tabletop. We're going to go onto side to side, so hands down on the floor. Option, you can always leave your feet down on the floor and just go into the side-side movement, same cues. All right, I'm going to bring my legs up to tabletop. Inhale, I'm going to bring my legs over towards you. I'm going to lift up the opposite hip. Take that top knee towards you, but my shoulder stays down. Exhale to come back through center. And again, inhale over towards the wall. Reach out through that top knee, hip comes off, shoulder stays down. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale to the side. Exhale back through center. So now we're just starting to work in through these side abdominals, through your obliques. Getting those muscles to start rolling the pelvis. Good, inhale over. Exhale back through center. Good, and again, inhale over, reach through that top knee. You'll feel that engagement, the working through that top waist. Again, reach through that top knee. Last one, over to the wall. And then exhale, come back through center. Feet come down to the floor. Let's just let them roll all the way over to the left. Bring your gaze over to the right so you come into full spine twist. Big breath into those top ribs, the top side waist. And then all the way over. The knees fall over to the right, gaze comes to the left. Good. Big breath in again. Beautiful. Let's take you all the way over onto your side. Let's just rest your arm, your head on your arm. Heels in line with the back of the body. Good, and so your legs are bent, heels in line with the back of the pelvis, your head's in line with the back of the pelvis, so you're in one long line. You can use the back of your mat if that helps you to line up. Good work. And then from here, all we're going to do is just move it into our clams. Okay, so hand up onto that top hip, reach that top hip away. Good, we're just opening up that top knee. We're blocking that hip from rolling with it. So often you'll see the hip rolling with the leg, that hip is going to stay completely still. Okay, so making sure it is the thigh bone that is moving, it's not the pelvis. Good, and again, so we're using that hand to block it. Keep the heels together. It works. We're working into that little glute med muscle, stability muscle on the outside of the hip. We've got 3 more here. 2, then 1, and we've got little pulses at the top of the clamp. Okay, so we're just again working into that muscle. Good, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that leg all the way down. We'll give it a nice little rub. Lovely. Let's come up onto that bottom elbow, just a little bit of side lift work. Options, keeping both knees bent, or maybe the top leg long, maybe both legs long, depending on where your strength is. So here, both legs are bent for me. Elbow is just underneath my shoulder. Again, we're going to start working in through that sideways. I want you to start by lifting your ribs away from the floor. Often you'll see this kind of sagging down through the side body. Start lifting and start drawing those ribs away from the floor. So use your hand underneath there, lift them up. Okay, when you do that, you'll find the shoulder starts to engage. Press that forearm down into the floor. Check, is that elbow straight underneath shoulder? Good, and then again, keep lifting those ribs away from the floor. Take a big breath in, and then exhale. All we're doing is lifting the hips up. Okay, so it's quite active through that side body. Make sure the chest is square to me, and then lower the hips back down. And again, exhale, lift those hips up, and then lower them down. Good, we've got 5 more. Good, 4. Beautiful, keep the chest square, keep lifting up through those ribs. Last 2, press into that forearm. Last 1, good work, and then lower all the way down. Turn yourselves over, or whatever's better for you to see what's going on here. And all the way down, head on that bottom arm. Again, heels in line with the back of the pelvis, in line with the back of the body. Make sure you're not too closed in through the chest. All right, and again, hand up to that top hip, reach that top hip away, heels stay together. We're blocking that top hip as we open up the knee. Good work, and again, open it up and closing it down. Good work, so it starts off feeling easy, but by the time we get into those pulses, you should start feeling some warmth through the outside of that hip. Good, and again, making sure that that pelvis isn't moving. Okay, so that top hip stays pointing towards me. Good, we've got 5 more. 4, 3. Good, really squeeze those heels together, block the hip. Last one, we're going to take it up and we're into those little pulses. Good, like little butterfly movements through that top leg. Good, and really starting to feel that warmth now into the top of the hip. 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Lower that all the way down. Coming up onto that bottom elbow. Resting it down on the floor again, choosing your options with your legs. And again, grab those bottom ribs, lift them up away from the floor. Okay, so ribs are sagging, lift them up. That should help you get that shoulder in a really nice placement. Okay, so check down, elbow straight under the shoulder again, the engagement through those lower ribs. Good, feel the armpit drawing you away from the floor. And again, chest square to me, lift those hips up. Okay, so we're pressing down into that bottom knee. Inhale to lower, and again, press up. Good, and you might be that top leg long. You're still pressing into that bottom knee, but there's a little bit of work going through that top leg. And your inner thighs are still working, trying to hold those legs together. Good, last 3. Good, 2. Good, last 1. Hold it up there for an extra second. Pull those ribs in, and then lower yourself all the way down. I'm going to take you straight onto your back. Crossing over just for a little glute stretch. So you're in your figure 4 stretch. I'll turn around so you guys can see. From here I draw my toes back towards my shin. I'm pressing that knee away. I want you to think about that, again, that neutral position of where the tailbone is touching down onto the floor. And just gently pressing that knee away from you. You should feel the stretch into the outside of the hip. Good work. And then switching sides. Again, toes draw back towards shin, press that knee away. Keep trying to roll your tailbone away from you. Good work. All right, we're all the way over onto your fronts now. All right, and then here, while we're on our fronts, we're going to have our hands out wide in our capital E position, or cactus arms, or goalpost position. We're working, just checking here, elbows are straight out from shoulders, hands are on the floor, just straight up from your elbows. All right, and then here, move your pubic bone to press it down to the floor. Sit bones moving down the back of the legs. So show you how my pelvis was before. There was a big curve through my lower back. When I press my pubic bone down, there's a little bit of engagement through the glutes. Pubic bone presses into the floor. There's a little lift from the lower abdominals. That's protecting my lower back. And again, we're going to hold that. Take a breath in. From here, all we're doing is we're starting to lift the chest up and forward. Imagine you can open up through the front of the chest, and you're just floating the breastbone, the top of the breastbone off the floor, and we're just coming up to rest on the bottom ribs, and then roll back down. And again, lift the chest up and forward, open up through the front of the chest. Go ahead and check that you're not using that lower back. So that position of the lower back shouldn't be changing. And again, lift up. Open up through the front of the chest, almost like you could drag the floor back towards your hip bones, and then lower back down. And again, open up, and you widen those collarbones a little bit more. Good, last two. Open it up. Good, check you're not using your neck to do this. Your head is staying in a nice long line with your body. Last one. Good, pause at the top. Just take a look over your left shoulder. One look over your right shoulder. Back through center and lower yourself down. Press back into child's pose. Good work. And then again, let's bring legs together in your child's pose. So your thighs are touching. And then just rest your arms down on your belly, rests on your thighs. Forehead rests on the floor. So you just stand there, and this is a really nice position because I can't do that one at all. Your belly is pressing against your thighs. Really good position to practice that back breathing. Okay, so as you breathe in, the breath can't go down to your belly and it can't really expand into your ribs. So you can really think about it breathing into the back of the body. Okay, really trying to expand through those back ribs. Good, and again, we'll just do 2 more breaths here. Good work, and then we're going to come back forward. This time we're into our 4-point kneeling position. Check here, we've got knees straight underneath your hips, hands straight underneath your shoulders. Any problems with wrists, you know the option of rolling up the front of your mat. It's really good to try and work into building that strength up through your wrist joint. Okay, so really think about like maybe trying to create little teepees through your hands, trying to create some tension through those wrist joints. Okay, and then just take a couple of little cat cows. Inhale, gaze comes forward, tail lifts up, and then exhale, round through the spine. Think tail comes underneath you, and you try and look towards it. Inhale forward, exhale under. One more each way, and we just do this to help move through the spine while we're in weight bearing, but also to help us find neutral. So we have to move halfway through that movement. Good, so halfway between those two extremes should be your neutral. And with your neutral, there is a little curve through your lower back. We've still got tone through the front to make sure we're not sagging into that lower back and dumping into it. We're keeping that support. Okay, so As we're in our neutral spine, I want you to take a big breath in. Long, slow breath out. Try and narrow those ribs in towards the hip bones without actually moving through the body. Okay, and then lengthen the spine out. And again, take a big breath in. Really press the floor away so you're not moving, but it's all internal. It's all with the breath. We're trying to create some support for that spine. Right, and again, sticking with that breath. Big breath in. Exhale. Think about that support you just created. Let's reach the right arm forward. Good. Inhale to lower that back down. And then exhale, we're going to switch sides. Left arm reaches forward. Good. So we're using that big breath out to create that stability through our trunk. Right arm reaches. Good. Right arm down. Exhale, left arm reaches. So we're creating stability while we're moving away from it through our limbs. Right hand stay still. Again, take a big breath in. Exhale, deep or slow breath out. Reach your right leg on. Slide it along the floor so you get that length, that full reach without moving through the body. And then just start floating the leg up as you reach it away. You're going to lower it back down. So again, it's not how high you can get it, how far can you get it. So exhale, reach the left leg out. And then just start floating it up. Good. Inhale down. And again, exhale. Good. Big breath out as you slide and reach. Inhale down. And exhale, lift. Slide it out. Reach out. Good. We'll do that once more on each side. I just want you to bring some focus into what's happening through the upper body. Is there a big weight shift between your hands? Or can you keep the weight exactly the same between your two hands as you reach that leg out? Good. Now we're going to combine the movement. We're going to go right leg, left arm. Or just sticking with the singles if that's enough for you. Inhale down. And then exhale, reach out, left leg, right arm. Good. Keeping the body dead straight through the center. Big breath out. Think about keep pressing the floor away. Good. Keep that support of the exhale, drawing in around your center, supporting the spine. Good. And one more on each side. Beautiful. Last one. Body stays still. Inhale down, and again come back in towards your child's pose. Let's go knees wide this time. Big toes together and let the body sink down. If the arms are tight and they don't want to be out front, you can bring them down beside you and just rest on your forehead. Good work. We're coming up. From here, let's go legs out in front of you in for our spine stretch. Go, just stretching those legs out long, arms reaching in front of you, lengthen the spine up. And then exhale, we're just going to reach forward. Option here, if the hamstrings are too tight for this, you can fold up a towel or roll up your mat underneath your pelvis, or just bend in through the knees. Good, and then restate the spine, lengthen up, big breath in. Exhale to reach forward, gaze comes down towards the knees. Go, keep the space of the shoulders between the ears, create that space there. Restack. We'll go one more. Exhale, reach forward. Shoulders away from ears, feel like you're scooping up through your abdominals, reaching the spine up and over an imaginary ball. And then restack. All right, from here, let's just go soles of feet together. You should get a nice little inner thigh stretch. While you're here, lift the spine up nice and tall. Check your feet aren't too close towards you that you're going to roll back. They want to be in a comfortable position on top of your sit bones. Good, and then here, let's go for our genie arms. Lift the spine up nice and tall. And then exhale, is going to rotate around towards the left. Good, inhale back through center and then rotating around towards the right. Good, inhale, grow taller, keep the shoulders down. Exhale, feel the ribs wrap around your spine. Good, and just checking as you rotate that you can't feel a change of pressure in the feet. Okay, so the movement is solely coming from the ribs. If you try to overdo it, then the pelvis wants to move and you'll feel the feet move. Good, last one, around to the right. Beautiful, come back through center, relax the arms down. Good, and if it feels okay to just come into a cross-legged position for a little mermaid stretch, or just a lateral stretch. From here, left hand down on the floor, reach and sweep that right arm up and over, creating that length gaze forward. Good, big breath into that top of the body, keep that outer hip nice and heavy, both shoulders away from your ears, big breath in, feel like you can press that bottom hand into the floor to stretch open those top ribs. Restack. Good, left arm sweeps up and over across the ceiling. Good, drop the shoulders away from the ears, create that frame for your face. Good, and then restack. We'll go one more on each side. Good, so you should feel that stretch all the way down through your side body. Keep that outer hip glued down. Press that right hand into the floor. Open up those top ribs. Big breath in, and then restack all the way up. We'll just come up for a standing roll down to finish off with. Good, and then you just check down through your feet, the sit bone distance apart. Okay, so you should be able to fit a fist down through between your feet. And just checking here, we want that, again, hip bones, pubic bone to be level. Okay, so I want you to feel that pubic bones and hip bones are level. So often we're probably a little bit more anterior tilted through our pelvis. So I really want you to make sure that they're completely vertical. All right, and then we're going to hold on to the hip bones for our standing roll down. Okay, so again, just check your weight through your feet. Good, you've got the pubic bone and hip bones level. Now we're going to keep them level. Okay, we're going to keep them facing forward. Don't let them change. You're going to start rolling down through the crown of the head, down through the ribs, and towards the lower back, sorry. And then here, you kind of, most general people here about this point get stuck, okay? So this is the point where we hold on to those hips. Now we can let the pelvis move. Okay, and as you do that, you can kind of imagine the thigh bones are staying stationary, but the pelvis is rolling on top of those thigh bones. Check you haven't shifted your weight entirely towards your heels to do that. A little bit more weight towards the front of the foot. And then we start in the same way, so we just completely reverse it. So again, get hold of those hips, pull them back to vertical. Okay, so I'm back to where I started through the spine, roll all the way back up. Let the arms go loose. We'll do one without the hands, see if you can still do it. Nod down through the chin, roll down through the spine. Let the spine completely melt forward without the pelvis moving, so it takes a little bit more abdominal control. And then let the pelvis roll all the way down. Maybe you got a little bit further with your normal roll downs. Take a big breath in and then exhale, roll back up. Again, start with the pelvis. See if you can get the pelvis all the way to vertical. Again, you'll notice the abdominals have to work a little bit harder to do that. And then restack the spine all the way back up. Well done, guys. Hopefully you feel really nice after that class. And look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Take care.